Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. It is Charisma with Charisma Carriage Travels the World. Oh y'all, today I want to talk about something a little bit heavy. I want to talk about the fear of starting. Yep, the fear of starting and how to get over that. So if you don't know who I am Charisma. I travel the world with my son, who happens to have special needs and a disability. This is made possible through real estate investing. I teach women just like you how to invest in real estate, and also help other caregivers and other women that want to travel the world. So today, it's been a minute since I've really focused in on real estate. Oh, let me fix that little piece there. But today I want to talk to you about the fear starting, right? And right now I'm going to use real estate as my example because, that's my lane. But honestly, I think you can look at this from the perspective of going to that next step, leaving to travel the world, losing that weight that you want to lose, whatever you deem to be extremely important to you, that you have a fear of jump starting. And I was watching a video by Aaron on Demand, basically how to overcome fear of starting. And I want to build off of that. So, when we're looking at the fear, I think the first thing we need to focus on is, what if I don't do it? What is the worst that can happen if I don't do it? What is the worst that can happen if I never take that step forward to start looking at these properties, to start looking at different locations I want to live in? What if I continue down this path? And frankly, nothing will change. That could be a good thing. That could be a bad thing for you. However, if you continue to do the same thing that you're doing, you're going to continue to get the same results. So we can't sit here and complain about our job if we're not doing anything to get out of that job. We can't complain about our weight if we're still going to the fast food restaurant every day. We can't complain about our hair if we're not taking time to nourish it and do all the things we want to do to make it better, right? Because I don't know about you, I got 1,000,001 products for my hair to make sure it's on point. And, it is the way that I want it to be, right? But when I'm focusing on something else that I don't really want to do, I'm not even investing the same kind of money that I just invested in my natural hair products, right? I'm not, that focus isn't there. And I know that's so small. That's so, it's minute, right? But when we're looking at bigger things, we have to look at those things that are a little bit more minute. We'll take the money and we'll invest in this, but we won't invest in our future, in our growth. And, we have to question why that is. So the next thing that I want to go over is prioritizing your future self. I do a real estate boot camp, and the one that I did last year was live. The one that I did this year was online. So it is more of a self-paced course. And then I did a group coaching session. In my real estate boot camp, y'all, I had over 30 people in let's say I built up. So I had a few people, and, it just really depends. But the last one I had over 30 individuals. And then I got to group coaching. And group coaching is to focus on actually get that first property under contract. Like in real estate boot camp, I'm teaching you everything there is to know about the steps. What do you need to do? But group coaching, I'm taking you a step further, and I'm actually helping you get that property under contract. And it was interesting because I capped the students, but I didn't even have a third of the students from the last class. And one of the ladies said, well, I thought that people will be banging down the door to get into this course. And I didn't respond at the time, but what I know to be true is people will gather information, people will gather education, but only about 1 to 5% of those people will actually act on it. A lot of it is just gathering of knowledge. So you can book all the appointments with me that you want to and do the coaching. You can do the real estate boot camp. You can learn how to do syndications. You can learn how to vet and get that first tenant. But until you take that information and put it into action, it's really just learning. It really is. It's the information out there. I can give you all of the information, but what I can't do is make you utilize that information. I can't take you to that next step and then spoon feed you. So the thing is, you have to build these habits for your future self. You have to decide that the goal that you set forth is important enough for you that you're going to make it happen. You're going to make it happen. And if you're not going to make it happen, if you're not going to put those steps in there, then of course, this is the same place you're going to be in. You know, I tell my daughter all the time that one thing that we can guarantee is if that you continue to live and you don't make any changes, you will be in the same place next year. So let's see what we can do to impact our future. You know, I do this thing where I talk to my future self, right? I talk to my past self. And it's so funny because I tell my friend, I'm like, oh, my past self is on it. Yes, my past self set this up for me. I put it exactly where I needed it to go. This is the way that it needs to be. Oh, I was looking for this, but past self, it put it right. You know, it put it where I wanted it to be. It set me up. And that's the thing. You got to talk to your past self, but first start talking to your future self. You know, ask your future self, what is it that you see that you want to do? Are you leaving a legacy for your children and your family? Do you need to get your finances set up? Do you want to be traveling this world? Do you want to have multiple properties so you're making hella income without really doing anything? Like, how do you want to impact your future self? Because it's your present self that's going to make these decisions. You know, when I look back at my past self, I'm like, girl, you did that. Like, I'm not going to sit here and tell y'all that my life has been easy. Yes, I am a nurse practitioner, but I also have 2 children. I've been through a divorce. I've been through disability. I've been through the teenage years. There have been times where I just can't work. I can't work because I have to focus on what's at hand. You know, if I'm in the hospital all the time with my son, I can't work. So for me, being financially independent is not all about traveling, right? You know, that is something that I have built up to be able to do. But even prior to traveling, there were years where I could not work. Before I had this real estate, I had to make sure I had money in the bank. So if I couldn't work, we could still survive. You know, I actually needed to have those 3 to 6 months of income in the bank. And that was very important for me. That was a much needed first step for me. That's why I said, you know, yes, real estate is huge for me. You know, I'm like, girl, do that, invest in that, do what you need to do, so you can make this passive income. But it may not be real estate. Like I said, getting that income, you know, that savings account. When I would return back to work, the first thing that I did was I started stacking my savings again, because I knew inevitably there will be a time that I will not be able to work for whatever reason, be it for my daughter, my son, or even myself. So I needed to make sure that I was stacking my money and that I had my emergency fund ready, so that when that rainy day come, when that tornado, tsunami came, I was ready. You know, so this is how, whatever it is that it needs to be, but you need your present self to make sure that your future self is taken care of. And that's however that may be. You know, we need to address the limiting beliefs that we have. And this is something that we really do to ourselves, right? This is something that we bring on ourselves. This is something that we create within ourselves. This is something that we just screw ourselves over with. I'm just going to be frank. It is what it is. Most people don't think as badly about you as you think about yourself. Most people see you in a much higher light than you see yourself. And it's that negative self-talk and those limiting beliefs that make you believe that you can't do more. When in actuality, girl, you know you can do more. You know you can do more. You know that you are worthy of that raise. You know that you are worthy of that position. You know you're so worthy that it may be time to leave that job and start your own stuff. You know, it may be time to go into consulting, you know, create your own business, go out on that limb and start doing what it is that you know you're capable of doing. No, you're not too old. No, you're not too young. You're here, right? Right. Money, you don't have enough money. I tell you, it's loans out here. You can, you know, when we're doing real estate, we talk about refinancing, we talk about HELOC, we talk about hard money. If you're looking at a business, there's the SBA, the Small Business Association. There's so many things. So when we talk about money, know that it's hella money out here. You just got to go out there and find it. It is. I mean, I'm just going to be frank. The money is there. Are you going to put the work in to find that money? Are you going to go through those necessary channels to get that money? You may need to do some courses or some classes. You know, they may require you to jump over a couple of hoops, but the money is there. I tell you, it is. Maybe you feel like you're not ready yet. The question is, will you be ready? When will be that perfect time that you're ready? Because typically the perfect time is now. If you've been thinking about this for years or for months, you've been talking about, I'm going to do this YouTube channel, I'm going to get started. Girl, get started. Go ahead, get started. I don't care if you got but one follower, that's your mama. Your mama going to be watching. You're going to have that one person watching. And eventually that one person is going to turn to other people. So girl, go ahead and get started. Underqualified. Maybe you feel like you're not qualified for this. You're not qualified to just start investing in real estate. You're not qualified for that raise. You're not qualified for whatever it may be. But who determines the qualifications for your dreams? I'm just saying. I don't know who determines those qualifications for your dreams. Because last time I checked, I determined my qualifications for my dreams. Anything that I want to do, I can do if I put my mind to it and start putting in the work. That's really what it comes down to. We're all qualified for everything if we put in the work and gain the knowledge. So if you feel like you're not knowledgeable enough, y'all, it's the internet out there, honey. You can learn anything. You got coaching, you got YouTube Academy, you got online classes, online coaching courses. You can get degrees out here online. I mean, you ain't even got to leave your house to learn most of this stuff. Underqualified? No, ma'am. No, ma'am. It may be that you just feel you're just nervous or you're scared, which is okay. It's okay to be nervous. It's okay to be scared. There is a fear. That fear of failure is real. But I think that the fear of success is even harder. What actions are you going to take? Because you got to take some action. You have to put some things in place if you're going to make it to the next step. I mean, Rome wasn't built overnight, right? It was built brick by brick, layer by layer. But eventually, when I tell y'all, Rome is a beautiful city. And to know that they started with one brick. It only starts with one action. You don't have to do everything all at once. You don't have to give it this very short timeline. You just got to go brick by brick. Do one action at a time. So, for my real estate people, I offer this real estate toolkit. It's free. You go on my website, charisma-cares.com, and you can pick it up. And I tell people, you don't have to buy nothing. It's absolutely free. I give you 5 tools that you can use to start looking into real estate. And I do that because sometimes you're just not ready. But that is a step. That is an actionable step that you're taking towards your dreams and your goals. So think about what those actionable steps are. If your goal is to travel this world, what are those steps that you can take? What are those baby steps that you can start taking to get to that place? Take some inventory of your life. Decide what are those limiting beliefs that you have about yourself? Those things that make you say why you can't do this. What is it about you that you feel like you can't get to that next level? And then, why is that? Why is that? So, if you say, I want you to go deeper than I'm scared. Let's see. Let's do an example. For example, I want to buy a property out of state. And I have not yet put the proper people in place. So I have a fear of buying the wrong property because I haven't put the right people in place. That's my why. So what can I do to overcome that? Well, hell, I could do the same steps. The same steps I've done when I buy property locally. The same steps that I've done when I've bought a property in another state. The same steps that I teach people in my boot camp is what I can do. The first thing is I can go on the website and start looking at the data there. I can start looking at the population, start looking at the locations that people are buying in, talk to some friends in that area because I have friends in that area. These are all things that I can do. I can take a ride down there. It's within 5 hours, so I can drive down there and canvas the area. There are things that I can actually do. Have I done it just because I'm lazy? Have I not done it because I'm nervous, because this is a new territory? All of that can be true, right? But all of those things are just excuses, because I've succeeded in so many things in the past that I know I can succeed in this too, because there's nothing that tells me that I would fail, because I've done it time and time again. Yet every time you do it, even though it gets a little bit easier, it's still very difficult. You know, I look at traveling. I've traveled to 5-6 countries in the last 2 years. Yet I have a fear of traveling to Africa. What if it just doesn't work out the way that it did the first time or the second time? What if I do something wrong or something happens? I'm so far away, you know, all of these different things. But I know that in the past, I've made plans. I've done research. I've done all of these things to set myself in motion. So why wouldn't those actionable things work for me again? Why is it that we give ourselves such negative feedback and negative self-talk that we think that we can't overcome or do things that we've done in the past? Or things that we just want to do. When it was time to start this YouTube channel, it was the same way. I was so nervous. You just had to do it. You know, the only way to get through that was to do it. And frankly, I needed a class. I took Stephanie Perry's YouTube challenge. And you know, on the 5th day, you had to post that video. And y'all, the thing about me is, if I'm gonna take a challenge and if I'm gonna pay some money, I don't care if it's $10, I am completing that challenge. So if you challenge me to do something, please believe I'm about to complete it. So I'm gonna do those steps that you gave me and I'm gonna move forward. However, I promise you that most of the people in that class did not do that. And that's that thing when I told you we can pay for all the classes we want to. We can get in all the coaching we want to. We can do all the courses we want to. But unless you are committed and unless you take actionable steps, you're still going to be in that same place because you have not made a change. You have not promised yourself. You can pay somebody $1,000 and still not do anything. Been there, done that. I've done that. I've paid for a coaching plan years and years ago. Didn't do anything with it. It was the most expensive coaching plan I had ever bought. The information was there. The information was great. The plan, that coaching is still around to this day. Information was outstanding. To this day, I still pull out that notebook when I'm looking at doing something new. And I still use those same steps, right? But at the time, I just was not ready. So it didn't matter how many courses I bought, how many books I read. If I wasn't ready to take that step, I wasn't going to take that step. You know, so this is, you got to be ready. You got to be ready to make these new habits. You got to know what it is that you need to make these changes. You got to really want it. You got to dig into it. Y'all, when I'm ready to lose weight, I dig into it. I'm at that gym. I done started eating food, the right foods. I ain't going out to eat like that. When I do go out, I eat well. But I know when I'm not ready, I'm like, girl, no, I ain't ready. I ain't even about to sit here and tell you I'm going to do this because I'm not ready. I have to be mentally ready to do these things. Because guess what? When you are comfortable, when you feel okay about things, you need to know that it's probably time to start moving. It's time to start moving and shaking, because too much comfort is scary. When you get too comfortable, you're not pushing yourself to that limit. And I'm not saying, y'all, I ain't saying go out here and work yourself to death. This is not that type of talk. This is not the chat where I tell you work harder, do more, you know, rah, rah, rah. No, this is the talk where I tell you, let's reach these goals. You know, if your goal is to go be in Portugal by July, let's make those actionable steps to be in Portugal by July. You know, let's sit down and let's talk about that. If you need to talk and you need to be held accountable. If you say, I got to have some money to get to Portugal. I need some income that's coming in without me being here. I want to invest in some real estate. Let's make a coaching appointment. Let's get into the group coaching that I have. Let's take a course. Whatever it is that you need to do. If you want to do a YouTube channel, jump into that 5-day YouTube success. You know, start just looking at some of these videos. Y'all look at these videos. Y'all learn everything it is y'all need to know about a YouTube channel. If you're somebody like me, you know, I need some coaching sometimes because I need a push, you know, and coaches do need coaching as well, because sometimes the same way you need that push to do what you need to do, I need that push to do what I need to do too. Be okay with being uncomfortable so that you can get to the next level. Think about what happens if I don't start today. Where will I be in next year? Because as long as you're still breathing, next year is still coming. So you could be here next year, or you could be over there next year. The choice is yours. This is your next year. This next year is coming. What are you going to do about it? And lastly, hold yourself accountable for your own life. This is all you. Nobody else is living this but you. If you don't try, you just don't try. I mean, it's not going to change anybody else's life except for yours and your household. If you don't take that next step, this is your life. However, when you see people around you, when you see people in your circle that are taking that next step, when you see, you know, these people on YouTube and on Facebook and on Instagram that's doing these things that you want to do, use that as encouragement. Don't use it to beat yourself down and say, man, I woulda, shoulda, coulda. You could, should, and need to start right now. Right now. You need to take one baby step. If your goal is to get to Portugal, find a YouTube channel that they talk about Portugal. Start learning about Portugal. If your goal is to start a YouTube channel, start reading and researching about how you start. Go ahead and get a name. Put a name on there for your channel. Record your first video. If your goal is to get passive income in real estate, go ahead and just sign up for that free real estate toolkit on the website. That's one step in the right direction. If you feel like you need to go further, everything is out there. There's plenty on my website there for you. If you're scared to travel because of a disability or because of special needs or as a single woman, I am here to help you with that too. Now, I can't help with everything, y'all. But those things I can help you with. And for the other things, we can continue to be each other's cheerleader. We can continue to rah, 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 and woo, get it, girl. Yes, we can continue to do that. So tell me in the comments what that thing is. What is that thing that you've been holding back on that you've wanted to do? What do you have a fear of starting? What is that vision for the next 3 or 6 months? Because right now, your future self is thinking, damn, I hope she get that done. So we could be living La Vida Loca, right? All right, y'all. Well, if you made it to the end of this video, make sure you like and subscribe. Ring the bell for more videos so you know when I post and when I go live. And make sure you subscribe to my email list, charisma-cares.com. Ciao.